In tonight's Fact or Fiction, we are looking into yet another claim that The Simpsons predicted the future, in this case, the Astroworld Music Festival tragedy.
In the past couple of years, we witnessed many of The Simpsons' predictions come true, like Trump's re-election and the invention of smartwatches, and now it's just obvious that they know something that we don't. Some have even termed it predictive programming and not mere coincidence. Well, it looks like they even have more in store for us in 2025, and we hate to break to you, but it's not all good news. Food shortage crisis. In the episode Treehouse of Horror, Homer starts hanging with a group of conspiracy theorists who convince him that hunger and food shortage is about to hit the United States.
We all know America's collapse is about 3 months away.
6 weeks at most.
There's always one alarmist. Anyway, when the Four Horsemen ride, we want you and your collaterals right here with us.
Sheeple will clean out every supermarket in town.
Typical sheeple.
They hide tons and tons of food in the basement and convince Homer to do the same for the sake of his family.
All our supplies behind a fake wall.
I thought the basement looked cleaner.
See? These are our bug-out bags. In here, it's everything we need to survive.
If we're being honest, there are indeed concerns about global food shortages, which could happen for several reasons: rising temperatures, unpredictable weather, and extreme droughts. The factors are already reducing crop yields in many parts of the world. As we speak, companies are actually developing synthetic meat to reduce the reliance on traditional livestock farming.
We face a real risk of multiple famines this year, and next year could be even worse.
As the global population grows and is expected to reach around 10 billion in the next couple of years, the demand for food will surpass what current agricultural methods can sustain. Urban cities are really starting to spread out, and soil degradation is shrinking the amount of arable land available for farming. And then there's water shortages, deforestation, and the depletion of natural resources, which make large-scale food production more difficult. So, should we actually expect food shortages this year? Maybe food is the least of our problems. The Simpsons have seen something much more severe. World War III. When The Simpsons first aired, we all just enjoyed the show and didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary. But in recent times, the show has become famous for its uncanny ability to seemingly predict future events. One of these moments is the subtle, and sometimes not so subtle, references to a potential World War III. One early reference dates back to an episode where Homer becomes convinced that World War III has begun. Panicking, he insists that the family rush to a homemade bomb shelter he built in the backyard.
Wake up, everybody! It's World War III! Quick, down to the fallout shelter! The bombs are dropping!
Another reference appears in the classic episode Lisa's Wedding, where the show imagines Lisa's life in the future. In this storyline, Lisa gets engaged to a British man named Hugh Parkfield. At one point, Hugh visits Moe's tavern with Homer and Bart. During their conversation, Moe acknowledges Hugh's British heritage, and then Hugh points out that he saved Moe's life in World War III.
You know, we saved your ass in World War II.
Yeah, well, we saved your ass in World War III.
That's true.
Was this just clever writing, or were the creators yet again hinting at a catastrophe in the near future? And as we all know, fears of World War III have been a recurring theme in pop culture for decades, especially with the Russia and Ukraine war. Who knows what's going to happen next? But before all of that happens, the government might be up to something different. Microchip implants. In a 2011 episode of The Simpsons, the principal of Martin Prince High School plans to put chips on the body of students to monitor them, but apparently the plan fails, and only one student agrees to it.
I wish more students had agreed to these electronic tracking implants. We only had one volunteer.
Although this seemed almost impossible in 2011, today it feels more realistic due to huge advancements in biohacking and neural technology. Right now, microchip implants are already being developed and used for various purposes. Chips will now begin to monitor vital signs, regulate drug delivery, and even serve as a replacement for medical devices like pacemakers. As a matter of fact, in Sweden, thousands of people will have microchips implanted to act as key cards, ID badges, or even contactless payment devices. Neuralink has already tested its brain chips in animals and aims to begin human trials soon. They are also working on brain-computer interfaces that could connect human brains directly to computers. This dimension of technology could allow people to control devices with their thoughts, store memories, and even communicate telepathically. Honestly, maybe we should be a little worried about where all this is going. And another thing we should be worried about is the next generation of cars, not just any kind of cars, flying cars. Hover cars. Hover cars once seemed like a wild fantasy, especially back in 2005. However, fast forward to today, and companies like Samsung Sky are turning science fiction into reality.
An Oregon-based company set to deliver its Switchblade flying car in 2024. After 14 years of development, the company is not only ready to unveil its creation to the world, but also begin customer deliveries.
They're leading the charge with the Switchblade, the world's first hover car that is set to begin deliveries soon. This vehicle is designed to revolutionize how we think about transportation, and as long as you have the money, you get to fly over traffic jams and avoid the frustrations of road congestion entirely. But, of course, the idea of hover cars was first playfully explored in The Simpsons long before it became a tangible goal. In the episode called Future Drama, we see Homer and Bart cruising in a hover car.
This futuristic concept is actually in line with the current ongoing research and development in technology.
You know, it feels like the creators of the show may have been onto something. Even tech mogul Elon Musk has often discussed the idea of flying cars, teasing the possibility of Tesla venturing into something on that level. And given Tesla's rapid advancements in technology and Musk's ambitious track record, it's not hard to imagine a future where flying cars are part of our everyday lives. Many experts believe it's just a matter of time before Tesla or another trailblazing company delivers an actual, efficient, and accessible flying car. Companies like Uber have already tested the waters with plans for aerial ride-sharing services, while startups are working on electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. Flying cars or not, this next prediction is good news for parents. Baby translator. If there's one thing that parents wish they knew, it's exactly why their baby is throwing a fit. Now, imagine having a device that's able to tell exactly why a baby is crying. The idea of a baby translator seemed like nothing more than a humorous concept when it appeared on The Simpsons in 1992. In the episode, Brother, Can You Spare 2 Dimes?, Homer's half-brother, Herb Powell, invents a machine that translates baby talk and turns their cries and babbles into understandable language.
What are you gonna say? I know. Nothing downstairs. You just took a nap. I want to suck your nose.
Fast forward to today, Swiss company Zoundream is taking a major step forward in bringing this idea to life. Their technology is designed to interpret baby cries and help parents understand their infant's needs. What the device does is that it uses artificial intelligence to analyze the specific sounds of a baby's cry and identify whether the child is hungry, tired, in pain, or in need of a diaper change. Other companies are also exploring similar ideas. Apps like Chatterbaby and CryAnalyzer claim to use AI and sound analysis to help parents understand their baby's cries. Good to know we won't have frustrated parents around anymore. Next, we see how The Simpsons predicted something that we thought was completely impossible. Cryonics freezing. One of the most popular episodes of The Simpsons is the heartfelt Christmas-themed Holidays of Future Past. This episode is set several decades in the future, showing Lisa, Bart, and Maggie as adults raising families of their own. The Simpsons family reunites for the holiday season, but the story has a twist. Humans have seemingly mastered the science of cryonics, or cryogenic freezing, to extend life.
This is where my father is. He froze himself because he was sick and there was no cure.
In the episode, cryonics is used to explain why Abe Simpson, Homer's father, is still alive and able to interact with his family despite the fact that he had passed decades before.
What the heck you put? Dad, these are your great-grandsons.
Cryonics involves preserving the human body or just the brain at extremely low temperatures in the hope that future medical advancements will one day allow the person to be revived. Crazy as it sounds, this fictional idea is about to happen in real life. In Scottsdale, Arizona, a company called Alcor Life Extension Foundation is at the forefront of cryonics technology. Alcor specializes in preserving deceased individuals by freezing their bodies in liquid nitrogen. Currently, they have more than 1,000 living members signed up for future cryopreservation. One of these members is Elaine Walker, a 47-year-old single mother. Elaine is signed up to have just her head cryogenically frozen at Alcor with the hope that one day she'll be revived and joined to another body. And if one of those 1,000 members passes away anytime in 2025, we could be in for a show. While the concept of cryonics may be difficult for some people to grasp, we have already begun to see signs of the next prediction: AI taking over jobs. The idea of robots and artificial intelligence taking over jobs and even going rogue has been a topic of concern for quite a while now. The Simpsons tackled this very issue in their 2012 episode Them Robot, where Mr. Burns replaces his power plant employees with robots in a bid to save money and, in the long run, leaves Homer jobless.
Working hard or hardly working? Working hard or hardly working? It's a simple question!
Guess what? Today, AI is no longer confined to science fiction or animated television shows. It's quickly becoming a central part of our lives. Besides chatbots that handle customer service inquiries, there are also AI programs that can write code or analyze financial data. Machines are increasingly capable of performing tasks that were once exclusive to humans. Jobs in fields like manufacturing, transportation, and even creative industries are also being impacted by automation. For example, self-driving trucks are being tested to turn around the logistics industry, and AI tools like ChatGPT are assisting writers and programmers. In fact, according to a 2023 report by the World Economic Forum, millions of jobs could be displaced by automation in the next decade, especially those that involve repetitive or routine tasks. In fact, The Simpsons also touched on the potential risks of AI going rogue. In Them Robot, the robots begin to malfunction, and it eventually leads to chaos.
And ow! Son of a! Why did you do that?
Prominent figures like Elon Musk and the late Stephen Hawking have also warned about the dangers of uncontrolled AI development. Musk has referred to AI as our biggest existential threat, while Hawking cautioned that AI could surpass human intelligence and pose risks if not carefully managed. Speaking of careful management, this is one prediction that could go really wrong. Subscriber pick. This image remains one of the most controversial supposed predictions of The Simpsons, where it is 100% matched with a real-life event involving President Donald Trump, Saudi King Salman, and the Egyptian president touching a glowing orb at a ceremony in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. However, despite its wide circulation, this scene from the show doesn't actually exist and was likely created as fan art after the real event took place. Time travel. Time travel has always been one of the most popular ideas in science fiction. The Simpsons, as usual, took a comedic approach to time travel in the episode Future Drama. The episode shows us the chaos and hilarity that could arise from meddling with timelines.
What the? Look at that!
It was actually quite hilarious, but time travel is starting to become a really serious topic amongst scientists who believe that it is very possible. One of the most prominent figures in the study of time travel is astrophysicist Ronald Mallet. Mallet has dedicated most of his life to proving that time travel is scientifically possible. His father died when he was just 10 years old, and he has spent decades developing theories and conducting research in hopes of one day making time travel a reality. All he wants to do is go back in time to see his father again, and he believes that with his ring of rotating lasers, it might be possible to create a loop in time capable of bending the space-time continuum. Mallet acknowledges that his work is still in its early stages and that time travel may not be possible within his lifetime, but who knows? His breakthrough may come earlier than he thought. But if time travel is a bit of a stretch, how do you feel about the possibility of living on an entirely different planet? Migration to Mars. While humans haven't made it to Mars yet, the idea of living on the Red Planet is starting to feel possible. In episode 6 of season 27 of The Simpsons, titled The Marge Ian Chronicles, Lisa learns about a government program looking for volunteers to relocate to Mars. Lisa, along with her family, decides to sign up for the mission.
We're preparing to launch the first privately funded manned mission to Mars.
You're going to Mars? That's incredible!
Yes.
This episode is very similar to Elon Musk's famous plans to colonize Mars. Musk, the founder of SpaceX, has said that humans need to live on other planets to survive in case something bad happens on Earth. SpaceX is already building rockets, like the Starship, that are designed to take people and supplies to Mars. Musk believes humans could start living on Mars really soon. NASA and other space agencies are helping too, with missions like the Perseverance rover collecting data that could one day help humans live there. The idea of moving to Mars also makes people wonder, who would get to go? Would only rich people have access? What if something actually happens to Earth? Earth isn't even the focus on this show. They have something to say about the universe too. The universe's new shape. When the legendary cosmologist Stephen Hawking appeared on The Simpsons, it was an unforgettable moment. In this episode, Hawking joined Homer and friends at Moe's Tavern for a conversation that was humorous but thought-provoking. During their chat, Hawking made a striking comment.
Your theory of a donut-shaped universe is intriguing, Homer. I may have to steal it.
Wow, I can't believe someone I never heard of is hanging out with a guy like me.
As funny as it sounds, the idea of a donut-shaped universe, or torus, isn't just a joke. It's based on a legitimate scientific theory. Since the 1980s, some cosmologists have suggested that the universe might not be infinite, but instead loop back on itself, like the surface of a donut. This theory suggests that space could be curved in such a way that traveling far enough in one direction would eventually bring you back to your starting point. The concept of a toroidal universe is now gaining more attention because advanced technology allows scientists to explore the shape of the cosmos in greater detail. Research from NASA's Wilkinson Microwave Anisotropy Probe, which studied the afterglow of the Big Bang, has provided data hinting that the universe could be finite and shaped in unexpected ways. Our understanding of space is really still evolving, and maybe in 2025, we'll find out that Homer's theory wasn't so ridiculous after all. Next, we look at one prediction that isn't nearly as terrifying as the others: Willie Nelson's swim. In an episode that aired back in October 1991, the show portrayed the legendary country music icon Willie Nelson swimming across the English Channel just for his fans.
The whole thing was just a trick to get us back together.
Well, I'm also trying to patch things up between Van Halen and Sammy Hagar.
Willie Nelson, who often appears as himself in The Simpsons, is one of the show's most memorable celebrity cameos. But why the writers chose to depict Willie Nelson swimming across the English Channel remains unknown. Was it a testament to his stamina and ability to defy expectations? Or was it just a random idea to make viewers laugh? And could Willie Nelson really swim across the English Channel in 2025? Maybe, maybe not. He's indeed quite aged. But with the accuracy of many of these prophecies, don't be surprised if it pops up on your favorite news channel soon. Speaking of England, The Simpsons may have a big problem with Big Ben. Big Ben. You remember Big Ben, right? The famous clock tower in London that's popular around the world? In the 1995 episode, Lisa's Wedding, the show made another surprising prediction. In this storyline, Lisa falls in love with a British man, leading her to take a trip to England to meet his family. During this visit, viewers got a glimpse of the famous clock tower, but instead of its traditional clock face, Big Ben now had a digital display. Now, could this actually happen? Well, maybe. Big Ben recently underwent extensive repairs and restoration, and it took over 2 years to bring it back to its original glory. So yes, the big guy is really starting to get rusty. While the English people are not particularly excited about this possible change, tourists are the ones fighting for this cause. Tourists on websites like TripAdvisor have shared their opinions, and some think a digital upgrade could make the clock easier to read. In fact, about 764 people have given Big Ben a terrible 1-star review on TripAdvisor, and a couple of them suggested that a digital face would make it more practical for modern times. This structure has been admired for over 160 years, and it's hard to imagine such a drastic change happening under King Charles III's reign, or any monarch for that matter. But bear in mind that it's possible that we could wake up tomorrow and Big Ben is now a big digital monument. And that's not the only digital-related item on this list. ABC merging with other networks. In a flash-forward scene from the episode where Lisa gets married, viewers saw a hilarious but weird prediction. ABC had merged with several other major networks to form a super network called CNN-BCBS.
And tonight, the following celebrities have been arrested, while Heather Locklear-Fortensky remains at large.
The name itself is a mashup of CNN, NBC, and CBS. It may not happen in such an exaggerated manner, but over the last few years, media mergers have become more and more common. Big TV networks, film studios, and streaming platforms are merging or collaborating in ways that seemed impossible just a decade ago. For example, Disney, which owns ABC, completed its massive acquisition of 21st Century Fox in 2019 and brought several major film and TV properties under one roof. For now, ABC, NBC, CBS, and CNN continue to operate independently, but who knows what 2025 holds? As The Simpsons has shown us time and time again, even their most ridiculous predictions sometimes have a funny way of coming true. And you might want to pay attention to the next prediction. It's pretty serious. Environmental crisis. In the 2007 The Simpsons movie, the creators presented viewers with a strange storyline that we might get to experience in our time. Homer Simpson causes an environmental disaster when he recklessly dumps pig feces into Springfield Lake, a body of water that was already dangerously polluted. This eventually triggers a severe environmental crisis, and so the government had to place a giant dome over Springfield to quarantine the town and prevent the pollution from spreading.
We're being sealed in a dome!
There is no doubt that with the increasing concerns about global warming, pollution, and climate change, the movie's narrative feels less like fiction and more like a caution we should heed. Environmental disasters in real life aren't new, though. Take, for example, the infamous Flint water crisis, where residents of Flint, Michigan, suffered from contaminated water due to negligence and poor decision-making. What if we're about to see that in 2025 on a much larger and more dangerous scale? But let's look at something much lighter. Hologram mail. In Bart to the Future, one of the famous The Simpsons episodes, we see an older, loafing Bart receiving a holographic message. The mail is a virtual letter delivered to him by a futuristic mailman, hiring his band for a gig at a club. This depiction of hologram mail seemed like pure science fiction when the episode first aired. However, the concept of using holograms in everyday communication doesn't seem so far-fetched anymore. Today, holographic technology has made a little more progress. HD3 holograms, for instance, are already in use in over 500 Best Buy locations. It might not be as advanced as it is represented in The Simpsons, but we might be onto something, and 2020 could be the year where it is all unraveled. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video about The Simpsons and their uncanny predictions, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more interesting content. What do you think the show might predict next? Let us know in the comments below. See you next time.